Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Pizza Metal Cast. This is yours, Dave. I got on the line a special guest, guitarist Phil Demmel. What's up, Phil?
Hey, man. What's going on, Dave?
So we all know the story. What happened with we're not going to talk about it. You don't need to talk about that. We all read about it. So what's going on with you now? I know Vio-lence is about to do some reunion show. I just saw an announcement. You guys are playing Full Terror Assault.
We are. We're playing the Full Terror Assault Festival in, Cave in Rock, Illinois, somewhere way out of nowhere. It's thing, and offers are coming in, and it's pretty exciting, man. Dudes are stoked.
Yeah, it's all. I remember seeing last time I saw Vio-lence. I think it was the Voivod tour with Vio-lence. That was a good tour, man.
What city was that? Did you see us in?
In Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that was a weird tour. We had just gotten off of doing the Testament tour in July and August of that year. Then we came back 3 months. 2 different audiences, man. So pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember seeing Vio-lence at the Cubby Bear in Chicago. You remember that tour?
Voivod.
Was that Voivod too at the Cubby Bear?
At the Cubby Bear. Yeah, it was the Cubby Bear. Yeah, it was. It was sweaty. It was downstairs, I think, or whatever, right across from Wrigley there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the Voivod tour. Good show.
Yeah.
So how do we know each other? Have we met before?
I met you at the Vio-lence show years ago because my buddy Chris Anna used to take pictures of you guys. I was taking pictures too with him. You remember the name Chris Anda at all?
Chris who?
Chris Anda. He did some promo shots of you guys too, I think, at the Cubby Bear show.
I think so. Sounds familiar. Probably if I saw you.
Yeah. So
right on. Well, cool, man. Yeah, it's cool to have this going on. Me and my wife bought a bar, so that's been killing it. And, pretty fun running our own business, and getting ready to do these Vio-lence shows. So jamming with those dudes has been pretty cool. Dave McClain actually came over today, and he brought me he didn't bring it to me, but we listened to the new Sacred Reich record. And we're at shows with them, one in LA, that sold out in a day. Kind of crazy. It's the same venue that we did the Machine Head DVD. We recorded part of the DVD there. And so it's pretty awesome that him and I going back, less than 6 months after quitting Machine Head and selling the venue out. Pretty cool.
Hell yeah, man. So how did the shows go playing with Slayer, man?
Oh man, that was a dream come true. It was, after the last Machine Head show was on Saturday night, I get a text from Carrie on a Sunday, and on Tuesday I was on a flight heading out to jam with Slayer. So it was, that they're the reason why I play heavy music. And to get a call from those dudes, and from Gary, in the dire circumstances that it was, and to have them think of me, and so it was pretty honorable to be, the guy, like they said, you're the guy for the job. So it was such a great experience stepping into that. Never forget it.
Yeah. So how's Sean Killian doing these days, man? How's he doing house-wise?
Sean's doing good. He's putting on some weight, and if you saw any pictures of him from the benefit a year ago, January, then you'd be concerned, going, "Holy crap, man!" I had actual concerns about maybe not seeing him again. The health wasn't that good, and so he's rebounded and looks good, putting on weight, getting strong. He's got his attitude back, got some piss and vinegar going, so it's got some shit talking going. So So it's really good to see him on the mend and coming back. So, we got those shows in like 6 weeks coming up here. So it'll, yeah, we're definitely gonna find out. Gonna find out if he's got it. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, this fucking Dean Dell back on the bass, man. That's fucking,
Yep, Dean and Perry back, and Ray Vegas, who played in the band for from 91 to like 95. So he spent like 4 or 5 years in the band.
Yeah,
which is actually about the same amount of time that Rod was in the band.
Yeah, Vio-lence was one of the 80s thrash bands. That was one of my favorites, man. Vio-lence, Forbidden, Testament, all them. Yeah, that was the days, man. The 80s, man.
You like the Bay Area stuff, man. There you go. Lots of good bands here.
Oh yeah. So now, what's your greatest memory from the band Machine Head, man?
Oh, the greatest memory?
Yeah, like your fondest memory of being.
There's so many, man. It's 16 years of so many good times and so many, recording the Blackening, writing for the Blackening. Remember writing some of the parts for Farewell to Arms. That was good memories doing that. Writing for the Locust, a lot of lyrics for the Locust being done. Getting nominated for the Grammy, going to the Grammys, headlining the Wacken Festival, headlining a bunch of festivals, getting to play with, a bunch of bands, weird moments like when Journey opened for us at a festival in Spain, or, just playing with Slayer for the first time, when we opened for Slayer for the first time. Playing with Metallica and jamming with James. James coming up and playing Aesthetic of Hate with us. And, lots of good times, man.
So what was your favorite tour?
I think we did this. The Black Crusade tour in Europe with Trivium, Dragon Force, Arch Enemy, and Shadows Fall, and headlined arenas through Europe, and it was huge. It was, I think, at the time, it was the biggest metal tour that had gone on through a lot of those countries. So it was that was my favorite tour for sure.
So now, besides Vio-lence doing some reunion shows, you got any other projects going on at all?
Yeah, I've got it's been remodeling the bar, so I've taken the past month off basically from jamming, but been talking with some people. Me and Roy from Stone Sour, James Lomenzo, we're talking about doing maybe like a Motorhead type, hard rock, loud rock and roll band. Record. Me and McLean are going to write some tunes together and see if we can find a couple people to guest on them, and some music for some video games. There's a lot of things up in the air that I just need to kind of just start chasing down. This Vio-lence thing is just kind of throwing everything into, has jumped into the priority for sure, because we've got, we're playing over in Belgium. We just got announced for this Illinois show. We're talking about doing a couple New York shows. We're talking about going to Puerto Rico. So lots of Vio-lence stuff going on. It's all fun.
Yeah, I read you guys might be even doing a new studio album.
I don't know about that. I'm not sure. Doing a Vio-lence studio record. I want to get through these first 2 shows with Sean and see how it goes. See how everything is, and see how he is, and see how it's received, and before committing to a full record. So we'll see on that. It would be exciting. I know I've got a lot of music in me in that vein as well. But I've got other avenues that I want to write for as well. So we'll just see what happens. I'm not closing the door on it.
Right.
Would be pretty awesome. Would be pretty rad. Here, what are we? 31 years later. 31 years after Eternal Nightmare came out. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, when the Locust album came out, I was supposed to hang out with you and the band, but you for some reason you had something happen. You didn't show up. It was at the Exit in Chicago, the listening party.
Oh yeah, I had why didn't I think I had my kid that weekend or something. And I had a custody thing going on, so I didn't go to that one or the New York one. I did the West Coast ones. So yeah, that was a bummer. I'm sorry I missed that.
Nah, it's cool. It was still cool. So now, what age did you start playing guitar, Phil?
I started playing when I was, let's say, 11 years old. So the late 70s, 78. And Angus Young. Angus Young was the reason. Kiss was the reason why I wanted to be in a band, but started with like a little drum set, and there's just too many things, cymbal stands and drumsticks and pedals and blah, blah, blah. So then I saw Angus Young playing and loved how he really spoke through his guitar. This was the one that made me want to pick up a guitar.
So Kiss was like your first favorite band or something like that?
Yeah, Kiss was the one that got me into whoa, look at the theatrics and the performing aspect of it. So it was like, I was listening to a lot of disco when I was a kid. It was the mid-70s, so I didn't know. Music was just music. I just like songs. I didn't know that there was different styles or whatever, And my older cousin was, oh, disco sucks, It's like, I like Casey and the Sunshine Band. I like those songs. But he turned me on to bands like Journey and AC/DC and Ted Nugent and Aerosmith. And, those bands kind of turned into, heavier stuff like, Judas Priest came along. Then that turned into Maiden, and that turned into Metallica and Slayer, and then it was just over by then.
Yeah, my brother's 9 years older than me. He got me into Kiss, so that was like my first band. I was like writing in school, putting Kiss all over notebooks and drawing their faces and everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So now, were you self-taught, or did you take lessons when you started playing guitar?
I started taking lessons for a little bit. There was a local guy. His name was Ryan Rosowitz, who was kind of a hotshot Van Halen wannabe guy. He actually plays with Alice Cooper now. His name's Ryan Roxy now, but he taught me some stuff kind of early because I was really into Randy Rhoads and Andrew Vanderberg, and so he was only a couple years old, but he was like just light years better. So he showed me some tapping, he showed me Eruption and stuff like that. I just ended up only wanting to learn like Maiden songs. Let's show me how will be thy name, And so it's like you probably need to, venture your own way. And so mostly self-taught, pre-internet.
Yeah.
A little harder back then.
So before Vio-lence, how many bands did you play in?
Oh, I was in some cover bands that played like high school dances, and we were called Stratus. And then my first kind of heavy band was called On Parole, and me and Zet from Exodus, his brothers, were in it. And Zet sang for our band. He was in On Parole. That was his first band. So me and his brother were the ones that got him, his first gig, and he quit our band that became Metal Warrior. We were Metal Warrior after that. He changed the name, and then he quit and joined Legacy, which of course, turned into Testament.
Right.
Joined Exodus from there. So, but yeah, Zet was part of our parole with me.
So the band Vio-lence, who came up with the name Vio-lence?
So when I joined in May of '85, they were called Death Penalty. And had a different singer. Chuck Billy's brother played bass. So we did our second show, and drummer Perry Strickland, was like, "We're changing our name to Vio-lence," So our first show was June 1st, 1985, under the name Vio-lence.
Now, yeah, that back in the Valley, those were the good days, man. Because you had MTV playing Headbangers Ball and all that shit, man.
Yeah, it was cool.
See the world in the world all the time, man.
Yeah, they played it a few times. They played it a couple of times.
Yeah, so
pretty cool.
So now, after being in the music business for so many years now, what are the pros and cons in the music business?
Oh man, it's the pros and cons. That's pretty wide question. The pros are, of course, you're playing something that for me, it's music. I love music, and being able to do that for a living has been something, pretty amazing for me. Cons are you have to rely on other people a lot of times to do their jobs, and sometimes people don't do their jobs, or you just don't get along with them anymore. So it's, just like any business in that aspect, but the payoff of doing something that you love so much is what I find where the draw is. The creating and the reciprocation of energy with people, and in that sense, that's where it's kind of hard to walk away from.
Yeah. Then a lot of the bands, they tell me these days there's no if you're looking to make money in music, don't be looking to make money these days, because it's not like that anymore.
Yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard.
Got to do it for the love of the music these days, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's not like the old days where you had the big record labels and big backing money behind you and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot different, man.
Of course, pros are to meet all your fans out there too.
Yep, absolutely.
So what's your take on social media?
I think it's great. I think it's everybody's, you're going to find. I think it's great. I like using it. I like perusing through it, seeing. It's how I keep in touch. I keep my Facebook pretty private. It's how with my family, with my kids, and showing everybody what's going on with my family wise. Instagram and Twitter are public, and it's cool to do some live stuff on there and throw some pictures up to show what's going on, and don't get too serious with it, but it's cool to kind of peruse through and see what all my friends are doing.
Yeah.
So it's like a superpower. You got to use that for you're going to use it for good or for evil,
Yeah, so social media is a double-edged sword.
For sure.
Now, do you have a funny or embarrassing moment from being in Machine Head?
An embarrassing moment from being a Machine Head.
Or a real funny story.
I went to walk on some subs on the side